What is going on? I'm zmoT. That is zmoT over there in that creator boost. We've only got 1 hour left, so we are going to refresh that. I couldn't have planned that any better. So annoying. Supercell, please bump that to 2 weeks. Anyways, I'm going to show you 3 operation attacks. We're going to start from the basics and move our way up. These are unicorn level excitement operation attacks. Forlorn Hope or Massive Attack, I think, for all 3. We're going to start with Forlorn Hope from yesterday, and this is the easiest of the 3. So the easiest of the 3 is Hardcore. 2 of them are done by me, 1 of them is done by someone else. Again, unicorn level operation attacks. I think I've soloed Hardcore 3 times at this point. So I'm going to show you the basics with a little bit of drawing. So typically, depending on the health of these 2 rocket launchers, it's a little bit better if you can use Kavan, but these rocket launchers had decent level health because this is a 260 level base. You need a 189, and if you need details on what the numbers are, let me know, but basically 260 is kind of middle of the road operation level. So we needed to use Everspark to get rid of those. Then we use GBE to get rid of these back 2, and then Everspark hopefully stays alive and helps us clear these ones, and then you have to deal with these ones. And most importantly, the thing that people miss the most often is these hot pots right here. You need to shock them up or you're not going to have a chance to solo it. Otherwise, you're going to get close to the core, and then you're going to have hot pots that melt your troops. So with that in mind, can't waste any time. Notice that you just throw the smokes first. That is important. Can't waste any time. Then we mark that rocket launcher so that when Everspark steps out of the smoke like that, she does a double hack, and then I re-smoke her, and then we flare back, keeping Everspark alive, not letting those grabblers grab her, and then bringing out all of our laser ranger ladies and getting some critters out front. Now, the fact that we have that critter tribe is incredibly useful right now because it means that we have more things to keep our troops alive. And then this is where it starts to get a bit dicey. You need to flare the heck into that corner or one of these corners as soon as you can, not letting the grabbler wreck your day. We use barrage to get rid of some of those mortars because they're going to be a pain in our butt if we don't. And then just clearing. You'll notice that I start to use GBE back here in a second, using barrage for one and artillery for the other, I think. There comes the barrage. So there's hyper barrage on that back right. Like, you gotta be thinking and planning ahead at this point. So we haven't shocked a rocket launcher yet because we have critters out front, and there comes the shock. And now we're getting rid of that other rocket launcher here because our troops are starting to get close to it. And it's so touch and go on the shocks. So far so good. Rocket launchers are starting to go down. We've gotten rid of like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 rocket launchers at this point. So even if the attack ends right now, it's a darn good open. So there's the shock. You see that first shock to get that hot pot up. So important. We've got some critters there to keep the second hot pot up, and now need to get one more shock before that hot pot goes. Otherwise, we would have just been absolutely melted. Clearing the back grapplers is helpful, so we stay back there. And then as soon as that back grappler goes down, now we're worried about that hot pot. Like, that hot pot almost wrecked our entire attack. And now there are many mortars that we need to distract, otherwise our troops are going to get crushed. And now, notice, laser rangers are clearing shield generators all around everywhere, picking up bits and pieces of GBE, but more importantly, clearing the shield generators. Because there's no way we're going to burn like 30 million health using laser rangers. Need to get rid of shield gens. That's why I start using GBE on the shield gens that we're probably not going to point our troops at quite yet. And then moving. Flares get so expensive on this attack, so I try not to flare until I absolutely have to. But you'll notice that we're going after shield gens here. Shield gens behind, shield gens in the right, shield gens behind, and need desperately for those shield gens to go down. So at this point, just waiting for those like edge shield gens to go down, and now we have got the W here. No point flaring back quite yet because we are getting rid of that grappler. Troops are on the core, and that, my friends, is how you solo hardcore. You gotta full boost. Even sometimes you have to boost your engraver just to get that little bit of extra oomph. Probably lost fewer troops by using that armor engraving, and so that is the easiest operation attack I'm going to show you today, one you've probably seen a bunch of times on a bunch of channels. So now, the second best, and this is the first time I've ever soloed this base, so we are going to look at maze, and you guys can tell me if this was an easy maze. Here is the important bit. No shield gens here, no shield gens here. There's still a lot of things going on here. Again, 260 base, still shock blasters at shore, still shock blasters back there, boom cannons and things by the core. I did not have the confidence to go with full Zuka because there's just not, you would have had to smoke all the way to that back corner, clear all the mines, and then smoke in, and then do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shocks probably while walking past the microwaver. So I went with Scorchers, and I did use an engraving. Which engraving did I use here? We used the sabotage, and that brings the defensive statues down by 23%. So if the core had 2 million health, it would have brought it down to, let's say, 160, I think is what that comes out to, but I don't want to do math, so I'll let you guys do that. Anyways, coming in with bullet taunt just to get our troops landed, and then doing a bit of clearing, and this is where I wasn't sure what to clear and what to not clear, so I just sent my troops back, trying to minimize smoke, knowing that we're gonna need smoke at a later date, and then just back. Now, quick note on maze and Chimera, there are only a couple bases where flaring a power cell is a good thing, and this is one of them because we want our troops to spread out and burn things as much as they can. But if you look here, our Scorchers are starting to get low on the health, so probably Leech would have been a better engraving to use. Let me know in the comments what you think the best engraving would be, and then just going for the core. Flaring the ground because you always get better results by flaring the ground, and then just letting them come out as bullet taunts. And I needed to shock back here. I shocked a little bit too close because these things are going to be taunted, so you'll notice that I did change on my second or third shock, and then it's just luck a little bit here. The fact that Bullet ended up on the left-hand side of those Scorchers means that Bullet was the one getting shot. Otherwise, those Scorchers would have exploded. And as Scorchers start to explode, they do damage on other Scorchers, and you end up, look at that, I end up with 4 Scorchers left. But Maze solo, like just fully ridiculous. One of the bases that I thought I would never solo. I think I'm down to a green court solo is all I have left to solo every base in the game, not including duplexity. I think it's just green court at this point, which is bonkers. Definitely have done torrent, have done strategize, have done humble pie, have done cooker. So Maze was a giant feather in the cap. Let me know if you've ever seen a Maze solo. Definitely, I have to give a shout out to the task force because any one of them could have sniped it. If you notice the timing on that operation attack, what are we at here? I didn't attack until like 17 or 20 hours after the operation started. I don't know if they left it for me or they just were intimidated, but huge thank you to the task force for that. And now I'm going to show you an even better operation attack. And then jumping into the task force to show you the attack I wanted to show you. Down here, the unicorn, Orion, who doesn't tend to care about operation attacks too much, did go full boost. He even boosted that right there. The sabotage engraving, which there are many times when it's worth doing. I know engraving, the hate has gone too far, though. It is useful. And I'm going to show you the Outworks solo. And before we get started, looky, it even has a shield. So there are some bonus points there, definitely. Now, there's only one shield gen back there. So it's not full ridiculousness, but let's be honest. Soloing Outworks with a shield gen, I don't know if you guys have seen this. Hashtag world record, first time ever, OMG. With Zookas, no less. Now, I have soloed Outworks using, I think, melon bombardiers. I'm almost certain I have anyways. Or maybe it was Lasertrons. Regardless, using Zookas gets extra geek cred, plus with the shield gen, extra cred. Now, I know there are people that have gotten Outworks that don't have shields and soloed it with Zookas, but doing it with the Zookas. Now, for those of you who don't know this hit, what's going to happen is, as you can see by the cleared mines, he's going to walk his Zookas up into like this neighborhood and then come over into here. And if you flare onto a hotpot, you can get all of your Zookas to hide out on the hotpot. As long as the hotpot doesn't pop up. If the hotpot pops up, your attack is over. And then you flare. I always get this wrong. I believe it's this mortar. It might be this one. We'll find out in a second. And then you get bullet to stand here, and all of these things shoot bullet, and all of these things shoot bullet. And then your Zookas stand on the hotpot, and it is using all of the mechanisms in Boom Beach. Hiding on a hotpot, using bullets, taunt. Like, it's just great. And so Orion's coming in, and this shield had like at least 6 million health on it, and then he walks his troops in, and I don't know the number of the health. I'm just making up the 6 million. He has lost the delay here. You see those rockets can see him. That doesn't matter though. What has mattered is he's lost the delay with this rocket launcher back here because of that grappler. And then he gets his troops walking, and you'll notice that the smoke is oh so tight, but that is for a very good reason, because he's going to drop one more smoke on the bottom right hand corner of that hotpot right about there. And now as they start to bunch up, okay, so it is that left hand side mortar getting bullet out front, and this is where this is the crazy bit. So if you notice on this right hand side, those rocket launchers do range that far right hand side couple Zookas. There's like 3 Zookas in that right hand corner, and so what he does here is throws an artillery, which kills all of those right hand side Zookas, because it looked like there's only 2 Zookas left on that left hand core, but there's actually like 100, and this is where it gets ridiculous. So Shock in behind, way a little bit too early because he's a little bit nervous and excited. And then just all of the taunt, and look at this. There looks like there is 1 Zooka left. At this point, for the uninformed, the attack is over. He's got 1 Zooka left, but then look at this. Look at that shield go down. Bullet is taunting everything. Those rocket launchers are hitting Bullet, shock launchers, rocket launchers, flamethrowers, another shock in behind, and with that 1 Zooka just absolutely dominating that power core. And you can see the sabotage numbers on top definitely helping out a little bit, and it looks like he has finished this attack with only 1 Zooka left, but no, he has 96 left. So that is the beauty of the hotpot. The Zookas stack in that little teeny tiny corner, and that deserves a tip of the fedora. So do leave a comment for Orion. There's got to be like a starry night, Orion's belt sort of emoji you could leave in the comments. Absolute beast. And I love it when players who have moved to warships do come back to the dark side, especially this happened during the warship season, no less. And now we need your help. If you are a family-friendly person because you put the wrong age in, or because you just don't like those dirty, dirty curse words, do consider joining Family 9. Very laid-back task force, but operations every day. No thanks to me. My intel numbers are terrible, but I'm in there. Come play with me. And more importantly, come play with the gang. We have so many good players, so many great players and great human beings in our task force group. So do hit me up if you're looking for a spot. Otherwise, I am in gold. I'll do some more hits with that tomorrow on the warship side. Thank you for coming in, liking, sharing, subscribing, and let me know what you thought about the attacks, which one you thought was the best, and if you learned something new or if you were entertained. I'm zmoT. Thank you for coming in, liking, subscribing, supporting, and all the rest. Thanks for coming in. Peace.